Hello, besties. We're back. And I'm sitting on the couch with my emotional support bestie, Tori.
Hey, and this is my bestie, Reed.
We're back together.
We're back on the couch with
In
our other
real
two
life.
besties.
Yeah, for those of you tuning in over video, we got a sweet treat for you.
Mm-hmm.
We got our two little pupperoonies sitting on the couch being perfect little angels. For now. For now.
They have 2 strikes.
And they have 2 strikes. If they get a third one, they're out of here. They're going upstairs.
Sorry, kids.
Wowzers.
Wow, it feels weird to be. I feel like we haven't done this in like 8 years.
I know. It feels nice to be on the same continent.
It
Same
really
time
does.
zone, honestly.
It really does. I didn't really like when you were in the future.
The future.
It felt disorienting.
I felt disoriented traveling back in time.
I bet.
Yeah, I actually think I'm like still confused and still
Fair.
off kilter.
Yeah, how has the sleep been?
It's been, I thought that I was like, I thought I really tackled it the first day I came home. I stayed awake. I didn't go to bed until like 9,
Mm-hmm.
but then I slept from 9 p.m. until 11 a.m. and woke up and I was like, I could keep sleeping. And then ever since, I haven't been able to fall asleep earlier than like 2 a.m. So,
Yep.
jet lag.
Jet lag. I remember the first time I went, not that far, but pretty close. And I remember coming back and I slept for like 15 hours the first night. And same thing. I was like, I have to stay awake till like 8:30, like ate some good food. Like, hey, this is great. This is going to be perfect. And then, yeah, it was just the level in which the jet lag is with that many hours off.
It's just so confusing.
Yes.
I also had a thought.
Yeah.
Okay, what if, like, you know how some people are like nocturnal or
Mhm.
like, have insomnia or things like that?
Yep.
What if you just live in the wrong time zone?
I mean,
You know what I mean?
I do sleep better in other time zones.
I sleep great on the East Coast.
Same.
And then I come here and I'm like a morning person. And I really love
love
that.
nothing more
You like
than those few days where you're like, I'm on top of the world.
You,
I
like,
woke up at 5.
flex on it too. You're like, yeah, I wake
Yes.
up at 5. I get started for my day.
Yep. When I got back from studying abroad, the group that I was with all had a text group. And literally for weeks, we were up at like 3 a.m, just like all sharing like what snacks we were eating because our bodies were so off that we were just like,
Hey, I'm
hey,
awake.
just gonna eat a Costco muffin at 3 a.m. And then do I go back to sleep? I don't know.
Who knows?
Who knows?
It's the wild, wild west over here.
I think I said it's a Wawa.
It's whoop whoop.
That's right. We're in whoop whoop.
Here's my thought. You know how people who wake up early, like, it's like, yeah, I wake up at 5.
Mhm.
Yeah, I wake up early. How about we start doing that with how late we stay up?
Yes, I saw something the other day that was like, who on earth decided that waking up early was the way that we were flexing?
Flexing, and also that is somehow like superior to
Yes.
others. I'm sorry. Yeah, cool. You woke up at 5 a.m. I stayed up till 5 a.m. Try me.
Correct.
Try me.
Correct. Yeah. How about the fact that I went to bed at 3 a.m. and still got up for working and functioning?
Yeah, can you do that?
Probably
No.
not.
Ha ha ha.
Hee hee ha ha. Hee hee.
That's our
Ha ha.
flex. We don't
I
sleep,
mean,
but we try.
insomnia, baby. I do my best thinking after 8 p.m.
I actually, like a few weeks ago, I cleaned at like 9 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Woo, that was so
Yeah.
fun. I was like, why don't I do this more often?
Yeah.
Because instead of, it's like I need the morning person thought process at
Yep.
night, because a morning person, they flex. They're like, oh, I woke up at 5 a.m., hit the gym, meditated, did X, Y, and Z, and then started my day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, how about I do that starting at 9 p.m.?
Yes.
I'll go to the gym. I'll clean the house. I'll meditate. Then I'll go to sleep at 1 a.m.
Yes.
2 a.m. How about that?
1,010%.
Why not?
I get so much done at night.
yeah, I'm
And
creative.
I can get a gun.
You can-
Hello?
whoa,
Get
you
a
can-
gun- I can
you
get a gun.
You can
I
Diddy.
could do that, I guess.
You could also Diddy Kong race. That's what it sounded like. I Get a gun.
So
I
sorry.
can get a gun.
I don't remember. Oh, I can get stuff done in probably a fraction of the time than if I attempted to do that in the morning. It's not going to get done quickly.
Yeah, I need the pressure of the night.
Yes, like if I get home, okay, this is a peak evening. I get home from something at like 9:15, 9:30.
Okay.
And then I'm like, I need to like close down the house for the night, you know? So then I'm like, I'm going to do the dishes. I'm going to put some stuff away. I'm going to get my lunch ready for the next day. I'm going to hang up some clothes. That's all going to get done by 10:15.
Okay.
Like I'm like, boom, 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 boom. And it feels fun.
Bing, bop, boom, bop, bam.
Yeah, that's literally what's in my head as I'm running around. But it doesn't feel stressful. In the morning, good luck.
Good luck.
Good luck. I'm going to sleep until the very last minute. And if I don't have anything to get done when I wake up, just like happened this morning, I will have action paralysis and I will lay here for hours until I do something.
I feel that. I feel that hardcore. You know who feels that? These little pups.
They
Look
do.
at these sleeping dogs.
Except they like to be up. They're morning people.
They are not morning people. They are not morning
So
people.
they stopped getting up at 6 or whatever
They have
were
to
doing?
tinkle in the morning. They have
And
their
then they
routine.
want to sleep.
Yeah, they slept with me. I had another jet lag sleep experience today. I went to bed last night at probably like midnight, and I slept until 10:30 this morning. And when John came in, he's like, "Hey, I made breakfast burritos," and I was like, "What time is it? I'm so confused." I thought it was like 8 a.m. But the dogs were asleep with me. If we sleep in, the dogs will sleep in. They'll never be like, "Hey, come on, let's go be crazy."
Are they only used to getting up to go to the bathroom because John's up for work?
Yeah, they go to the
They'll
bathroom
sleep through it.
every day at 6 a.m. basically when John wakes up. But other than that, when it's just me, we're snoozing.
I love that.
Kind of like they're doing right now. The dogs
That's
are
right.
just sleeping on us. And it's everything.
It is heaven. If only you could experience
If
this.
only you could experience the fact that I don't know why it is not of my doing, but my dogs smell like maple syrup always. And I love it.
It's perfection.
It's beautiful.
And no, she's not rubbing maple syrup on them that I'm aware of.
I just drench them in maple syrup.
I mean, that would be sticky. It'd be a sticky sitch.
Sticky, icky.
Sticky situation.
Icky Vicky.
Icky Vicky sticky.
Wowzers.
Wowzers. I feel like I'm ready to hear what brought you emotional support this week.
Oh boy, oh boy. Quite a few things brought me emotional support this week. Honestly, had a pretty good week. One of which I went for a little hike. A little stroll hike with my girl Ruby Roo.
Was that her first hike?
That was her first hike.
Wow.
She
An
did
urban hiker.
so good.
She's a curious girl.
We went with friend of the pod, Kiara, and her dog, Aggie, which is Ruby and Cordy's cousin. And we did a little girls' day hike. Cordy Bean had to stay home. But he also brought me emotional support because the day before that, I ran with Corduroy for the very first time.
Wow.
Yeah, he ran 2.5 miles straight with
That's
me.
so good for him.
I was so
Got all
impressed.
his wiggles out.
He was really loving it. Really loving it. But the hike was so lovely. And I was just like, I think why it brought me so much joy is because I felt like a proud mom.
Mm-hmm.
She was brave. She was like around.
Get out.
She even avoided the dead moles that we saw. We saw 2 dead
Ew.
moles. Yeah.
Nature.
Like torn apart. Definitely coyotes got them. She said hi to some dogs. She did great.
Oh.
But
I love
really,
that.
like this whole week, the pupperoonies brought me emotional support because 2 weeks without your dogs,
Too much.
torture.
Too
I
much.
was literally going, guys, I have dog deprivation. Like I need to cuddle a dog.
Yep.
So
I get
much so that like when we were still in Australia, we went into, I got a tattoo, you know, I'm tatted. Like, whoa, watch out.
Yeah,
Hardcore,
she's
badass.
crazy.
Like, yeah, like literally, guys.
Watch out.
I'm literally tatted. We walk into this tattoo shop though, and there was a dog in there, and I was like, I needed this.
Also, like, an hour before that, I was like, I think what would be really good for your souls if you guys found like a dog rescue. Just go play with puppies. And an hour later, I get a picture of you just with a little dog. I was like, whoa, you actually did it. She's like, no, but this just worked out.
And I was just like immediately snuggling this woman's dog. And I don't know if she thought that was weird, but like I needed it. And so coming home and getting reunited with my emotional support doggies has been wonderful. And we went for a really lovely walk together the other day, where a man pulled over in his truck and yelled out, "Hey, those little dogs pit bulls?" And I was like, "Yeah, they are." And he's like, "What kind?" And I was like, "They're pit bull weenie dogs." And he looked at both of them, took a deep breath, and I just went, "Well, shit." And
The appropriate reaction.
it looked like he had like a whole world of thought of like, how can I get one of those?
I think
How?
we're all asking ourselves that.
You know what? They're
It's a hard
perfect.
thing to replicate.
They're perfect.
It's a hard thing to replicate. My mom finally got to meet Ruby yesterday, and she was obsessed. And that also felt like it was really cute. I felt like a proud little auntie.
I know.
She
And
was doing
did
so good. And she was so snuggly, and I just picked her up. My favorite thing is that she's the perfect size to be held like a baby.
Yeah.
So they picked up like a little baby, and then she just wanted to be fawned on. She was so cute.
Oh, God.
So
I
sweet.
love the dogs. Well, what brought you emotional support this week?
Well, something that brought me emotional support this week was the fact that, which some people may say this would be something they needed emotional support from, but the
Oh.
fact that I'm old enough now to appreciate spending almost 3 hours in an antique store, and then I got some nice pieces.
Oh,
Got some
she did.
nice pieces.
she has some slick pieces.
Yeah, and thanks to husband John for helping me get them in to the house. But
Our labor.
yes, correct, our man of labor.
Mm-hmm.
But it was fun to like, it felt like a whole new world has opened up now. I know we were talking about this yesterday too, where like my mom was talking about how when we moved my great grandma out of her house, and then they started selling stuff from the house to get it ready to sell the home. Nobody wanted any of her antiques.
This was 10 years ago, 15 years
Yeah,
ago.
no one wanted any of them. They had to donate a ton of them. No one wanted it. Now, I'm buying things and I'm like, damn it, Nana had this in their living room. Like I could have had it for free and already have had it, but it's fine. So just the appreciation, I feel like it's a fun way too to be like more sustainable getting pieces, because I'm also like, these are things I'm gonna have for a while. It's not
Forever.
gonna be something that falls apart. You know?
You want to know why I love it?
Why?
I think it brings out our forager like instincts. Like
Yes.
it's like a treasure hunt.
1,000%.
You know, like we're going out there and looking for gems. And
Yes.
It's so fun. You never know what
Yes.
you're gonna find. It's not like, you know, shopping online for something and
Yep.
you can just like, oh yeah, so that exists. You don't even
Mhm.
know that it exists. And then boom.
Yes, and it feels like putting more true appreciation into like your aesthetic and what you're putting in your house. Because I'd been looking for a new bookcase and a little sideboard cabinet since that pretty much I moved in. Haven't been able to find anything. And you know what? It was the universe saying, don't worry, all in time.
All
I'll
in
give you the right
due
Pieces.
time.
So anyways, it was fun. It was an enjoyable little jaunt with my mother through the antique store yesterday. Yeah, so that was just really nice. But I will say, and this is not my thing that I needed emotional support from, but it is one of the things. Last night, I was sitting here, and one of them was like, it was like the wood was settling or something. I heard a noise, and I was like,
It's haunted.
I was like, there's a soul attached to the antique.
Oh fuck.
And then I went
You
down
brought that
a
into my
whole-
house?
I know, and then I went down a whole rabbit hole where I was like, this is Annabelle.
Oh.
It's like the doll that they got from a thrift store.
Oh no.
And there are human souls, demons attached to the things I purchased. Because we were walking around yesterday, and sometimes I'd like look at an old painting of somebody and I go, hey mom. She's like, what? And I was like, you ever look at things like this and go, that's alive in there. There's something in there. And she's like, can't say that I do, but but this is what horror movies have done to us. So I went through a spiral last night where I almost regretted it, but I didn't die, so I think we're fine.
That, you know what that makes me think about? It makes me think about this note that I have in my phone about this dream I once had.
Oh, I thought you were going to say an encounter you had with a
Well, I mean, it was in my dream.
fourth kind.
So, fourth.
Oh, wait, is that aliens?
What is the first, second, and third kinds?
I actually don't know, but have you ever seen those movies with like the encounter of the fourth kind?
Yeah, and isn't it?
Is it spirits or is it aliens?
I think that's aliens. Yeah, the
Oh.
fourth kind is aliens, and it's always like an owl. Like if people are like seeing owls or something, but it's not
Or
actually
you wake
an
up
owl.
at 333.
Yeah, I don't know. I was always scared to wake up. Also, I heard 4 a.m.'s bad. Like, are you just like not supposed to wake up ever?
That's why we're staying awake.
Every time. I mean,
Because if you're awake at that time, maybe nothing bad's gonna happen.
yeah. But this dream I had once, sometimes when I have dreams, I try to immediately write it down, and then I completely forget that I immediately wrote it down. And so I was going through my notes, my notes app, all my notes, and I came across this one that was like a dream about me at a thrift store walking around, and then I saw friend of the pod Kiara and her husband, and they had a 2-year-old. So cute.
Surprise!
She was adorable. She had like curly blonde hair, big blue eyes.
Oh, cute.
Came up to me, and it like the notes app first started about that, like that I was, oh, and then I saw her daughter. Oh my God, they're beautiful. Da, da, da. But then I turned and this woman was looking at me, and it goes, and I felt so cold, a chill to my bones.
Spooky.
And she touched me and I was freezing and so scared. And then she was like selling like an MLM makeup.
And that's why she felt demonic.
It was so weird. And then she started to put it on me and I woke up like this.
Oh, I hate it.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's
And all I
so
remember
scary.
is the thrift store was full of wicker furniture.
They were really going with a theme.
They really were. All right, Tori, let's get down to the dirty business. Tell me what made you need emotional support this week.
I hit a point this week where I kind of feel like an old person with this a little bit. So maybe that's a theme of my week.
Geriatric Tori
That's
coming
right.
in
Call
hot.
me Jerry.
Welcome a new Jerry to the villa. Tori.
Me. Gladly. People that cannot fucking figure out a 4-way stop.
Oh, yeah.
The level in which my rage went from like a 70% when I'm driving here now to over 100% the other day. It happened to me 3 times in a row.
4-way stops.
Yeah. Yes. People could not figure out who needed to go. And it was just that like, And then when people are that way, I don't trust their judgment. So then I'm too scared to go because I'm like, you're going to T-bone me because you've now decided you're going to go. And then there's someone who just doesn't even pay attention to it and is pissed off that you're waiting for the
So they
person who
just
was
try to
supposed to
go.
go because they're to your right and they stopped first. They just go. And then they trapped me into a road that was only big enough for one car. And I was the car already on the road. One person decided, oh, maybe it's my turn. I'm going to go and turn right onto the street. They could see me. They knew they couldn't get through. And then the person over here to my other side decided, I'm just not even going to acknowledge the stop sign. I'm just going to go. So they were both just facing me.
You're like, what are we
And
doing?
I did a full head shake, finger wag at them.
Oh, a finger wag.
And was visibly cussing. So I hope they could read my lips.
That's when you got to do a big thumbs down.
Yeah. Wait, what did that guy say? You're a weenie. Yeah,
Yeah.
to Camille. You're a weenie. I should have said that to them. Honestly, that would feel more offensive, I think, than like, you're an asshole. If someone called me a weenie.
Yeah, one of our friends, who's like the sweetest human in the whole world, had a traffic incident where somebody was like, hey, roll down the window.
Yep.
And she was like, oh, I think he was going to give me some advice.
Yeah.
He rolls down the window and goes, quit driving like a weenie. And she was like, oh.
These people were driving
Like
weenies.
But
But
not
it was-
these little weenies.
Nope. These weenies are perfect. There's some weenies we like, some weenies we
We
don't.
do not.
But yeah, that gave me a deep-seated rage, and then I was like heading to meet someone, so I had to take my time walking to the restaurant because I was like, I'm gonna need to calm down. I was like, this is how severe road rage is born.
Well, and I feel like in Portland, the issue with drivers here is there's too much of this passive politeness.
Yes.
So it's like, hey, how would you actually just follow the rules and you're not going to hurt my feelings if you go through an always stop when you're supposed to. Don't be like, oh, how about you go? No, it's clockwise.
Yep. You
got to go clockwise.
Yes. And the thing is, maybe this is a thing that exists. I mean, I know I can call and report someone who I think's drunk driving.
Oh.
There should be I'm concerned this is not a confident driver line that I can call and say, I'm going to need you to have this person retake their driver's test because I've been driving around them for the solid 10 minutes and it's the worst driving I've ever seen.
Do you know the funny thing about like road rage and driving and stuff is it's like when we're annoyed by like the cars around us, it pisses us off, you know?
Yep.
But then if a car is annoyed by us and they're pissed off at us,
yes,
it also pisses us off. So it's like a feedback loop where all of us are just getting mad on the road.
1,000%.
Oh.
I was reflecting on my driver's test the other day. And did you take your driver's test in Hillsborough?
Nope.
I did mine in Hillsborough, and in Hillsborough there is a lot of one-way streets, so that could have gone really poorly. Okay, could have gone really poorly. I was thinking though, because I think my grandma brought it up, and then she was like, where'd you take your driver test? We were talking about it, and I was like, I got a 98%. The only reason I lost 2% on my driver's test was because one time through an intersection, even though I was following a car, I didn't look both ways, even though I had the green light.
And how do they know you weren't?
Exactly.
You know?
And I was like, oh, you were just looking for something. I drove perfectly in this driver's test.
Oh, she's
and
confident.
You looked for something to dock points off.
For me, I thought that I was going to fail my driver's test when I took it, so I avoided
driver's
it.
class.
I mean, and actually there was a time in my driver's class where I was driving and the woman stressed me out so much. She was like a ball of nerves sitting in the passenger seat always.
Yeah,
and
we don't need that.
Always tell me stuff about her husband. I think she was going through it. And
you're like, I'm 16.
15.
Yeah, no.
I'm like, I'm 15. I don't know what to do. I'm sorry.
Never been married. I don't care.
But she, there was something about her husband that stuck with me forever. It was driving related.
Oh.
She said that he was going 1 mile over the speed limit in a school zone, and they gave him like a whopping ticket. And
I got a ticket once in a school zone.
And she's like, don't go over the speed limit.
1 over.
Yeah, 1 over.
Wow.
But when I was in the driver's class, a couple of things here. Wow. So many thoughts flooding into my brain.
I love it.
One, this girl, I was in it with your cousin, by the way.
That's right.
Yeah. This girl next to me, I remember this so vividly. This girl next to me, we're sitting in the class portion and the teacher goes, if you're going X miles per hour and you slam on your brakes, this is how many feet it takes your car to stop. She goes, meh, but I could stop sooner than that. And I was like, and that is why we are in this class and teenagers have higher car insurance
That
risks.
is terrifying.
I was like, this is the most.
You're like, that's not how physics works.
Like this, yeah, this is the most like teenage brain thing ever. You think you can outbeat physics? Cool.
Good Lord.
But then when I was in the driving segment, one time I was driving and we went over the railroad tracks, and you have to like stop at a railroad track.
Yes.
Technically, you're supposed to stop at a railroad track. Who's doing that except for a school bus? And so I didn't. And then she was like, okay, you would have just failed. And I was like, oh, sorry. And so then that stressed me out. And then I ran a red light right after that. And she's like, yeah,
Get
so you would have
out.
failed again. And then I was just so flustered.
I hate that.
But I passed my driver's and my permit test all in the first time. You know,
Good work.
don't worry. I'm safe on the road. And yeah, bro, I'm basically like a
professional
F1.
driver. Please don't drive like that on the streets. My driving school instructor was our elementary school PE teacher.
Wait, for real?
Yep. And it was great. It was fine. I basically just took the class for an insurance discount because I was obsessed with driving. So I already had way over the hours I needed by the time I went to driving school. My parents were like, you're going to go. You need to go. It's totally fine. Help me prepare for my permit test, right? And I got to hang out with friend of the pod, DJ Bree. But so his whole tactic, right, was like, okay, you clearly know all of the basics. He's like, so let's get you like distance driving down. Like, let's drive far. So we would drive like hour out on all the freeways, whatever, hour back.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And then I remember one time, it was like my third time. I don't remember how many, like 6 sessions or something. It was like the middle of them. And he goes, okay, I don't always do this. Because I don't think that you should listen to music while you're driving. But I am going to put on Soft Rock Charlie FM at a very low volume and we can listen to it. And I remember being like, oh,
I don't like this.
No, and it was literally just like, that's all I could hear. And so I was like, what's even the point?
I don't like that.
And my ears are probably better than the 60-year-old man's.
Also, can we just think about the fact that, like, we just sign up our teenagers to be in a car for 2 hours with a
rando
stranger?
Yeah. Thankfully, I guess I knew my person,
But that doesn't mean anything.
Nope.
Dang.
Yeah.
The way I would never want to go back to driving school or driver's class ever. That I
also,
hated
why did
it.
they stop doing that? Probably liability, but why did they stop doing it at school?
Yeah, probably. I mean, what's the insurance
imagine?
like on that?
There's some kids that we went to school with. No way in hell would I have gotten in a car with them doing that. There's no way.
No.
No.
I mean, remember how many accidents there were in the parking lot at our school? It was actually kind of funny.
I was like, just look behind you. Just do a simple little. One time my car got pelted by a lacrosse ball and there was a dent in it. In the parking lot.
Relax, bros.
Yep.
Was
and I
it
remember
the boys team?
Yeah. And I remember they ran out. I'm like, oh shit, I'm so sorry. And I was like, it's fine. And I just like threw the ball back at them and went home. I was like, I'm not dealing with this shit here. I got to leave this campus. I'm out.
I got to get out.
I got to get out of here. You dented my orange HHR.
God, the orange HHR. I miss your car.
Kelsey texted me the other day, another friend of the pod. And she said she saw an orange HHR and it flooded her with nostalgia. Aww. And I was like, oh, Fiona, my little ogre. I miss her.
Wow. We had the funnest, like, I feel like high schooler cars are the funnest thing because it's like the most random cars.
Yes. And then randomly someone has like an Audi and you're like, okay, rich.
Rich.
And you're like, also terrible idea on your parents' behalf because that's an expensive ass car for you to ruin.
For real.
Sorry. Cordy was tucking himself away, but then he decided, nope, not going to burrow. No, thank you.
I know you said you had more things. What else needed emotional support?
Well, here's the thing. It's both a convenient thing and so infuriating when you wear a bodysuit and then have to use the restroom in public.
Correct.
And let me tell you, the whole time I was in the restroom at the antique store having to take off all my layers yesterday, I kept double checking, did I lock the door?
You don't want to be the man.
I didn't want to be the man that I walked in. And then I walked out of the bathroom and mom goes, did you remember to lock the door? I said, you know what, Sandra? I sure fucking did.
Which reminds me of an amazing story we had phoned in from friend of the pod, Mackenzie.
Yep.
In relation to Tori's story last week about walking in on the man pooping at the wine, the wine tasting. Yep. She told us a story about a time that her mother really, really had to go to the bathroom. Was it a rest stop or something like that?
No, I think it was like a restaurant.
Or a restaurant. I don't know. I was picturing a rest stop, but she was like really quick running to go to the bathroom, wasn't really paying attention. It was a one-person bathroom, opens the door, pulls down her pants, goes to sit down, and bloop, sat on a person.
A human being was there. Why did the person not say anything?
Yeah.
That's really weird to me.
That's the problem. That
person is the problem.
Like, were they dead?
Maybe.
I think sat on a dead person
like
on
we
the
need
toilet.
to follow up with her and ask, like, okay, what was the other person's reaction to your mom doing this? Because that was not part of what was shared with us. But can you imagine?
I'm sorry. I would be like, hello, please stop.
If they ran it, I'd be like, hello.
I couldn't imagine a stranger's ass on my.
That's what I was gonna say.
lap.
Like that was essentially like genital to genital in the weirdest circumstances.
That's so. Please,
But don't
no.
worry, she didn't start going to the bathroom. It
She
scared her so much it just went back up.
It went.
and-
Bloop. No more puppy.
Yeah, what if she had a diarrhea? It got all over that person. And they still were screaming. Like, no, but she's like, I can't stop it. I can't stop it. That would have been so bad.
What do you do?
What just let it happen at some point. You probably just were like, well, we're here.
We're friends forever
I
now.
don't, no, I couldn't actually do that. I would continually scream. I would scream and vomit through the whole thing.
So who do you think is in the worst position?
The person being shit on.
Okay, that's what I thought too.
I mean, it's slightly their fault because they didn't lock the door, but what?
I'm picturing now. Like, we heard this story from her mom's point of view. Could you imagine the story?
I know. I
Being
want to know the person.
Like someone be like, guys, I have to tell you something that happened to me today. I have to tell you something that happened to me at work today. I had to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, it's like someone. It was like at McDonald's.
Yeah.
Someone working like,
They're like,
get home. Hey, honey, how was work? Someone sat on me on the toilet.
I had to go to the bathroom and I forgot to lock the door. And a customer sat on me with their bare ass.
Because that's the thing. Like, I mean, I've never done this, but I'm sure this happens more frequently. Is like not paying attention. You sit on someone's lap like in a chair or something.
I've never done that.
Like if you fell backwards, whatever. Right? That happens.
No, it doesn't.
But with no pants on.
What if she was wearing a onesie? A leotard. No, what's it called?
Yeah. So she was naked.
What is that called? A bodysuit. Oh,
Yeah.
leotard.
A bodysuit.
God, I had that. I had that when I was in Australia. I was wearing my swimsuit and like having to like peel it all the way off. You feel so exposed sitting in the bathroom, boobs out, just tinkling there. Like, okay, please hurry up. I need to get my chest covered again.
Especially if it's like a bathroom with stalls.
Yes.
So then you're also naked and people could see through the slits and it's sandy everywhere.
Oh.
That's terrifying. That's why I do love a two-piece. It feels
Yes.
less sensory overload to go to the bathroom because you can just pull one part of it down, you know?
Well, to admit something, I actually typically just pull my swimsuit to the side.
1,000%.
And I'm quite good at it. So...
Good work.
Oh, I did. Never mind. I peed on my hike in the woods.
Nice. Good work.
It was very hidden. I had to. We were deep in the woods, and I had to go.
You're probably not the first person that day to do that.
I
Also,
hope not.
I'm sorry. Men are probably doing that everywhere.
They're peeing in the parking lot.
So why does it feel more offensive that we do it?
I feel
Sorry, my butt has to be out.
sorry you have to see me crouched over like a little chicken.
It's just as embarrassing for me as it is for you. Shove off.
It's worse for us.
Just don't sit on my lap.
What if I was wearing a bodysuit? No, that I would pull it to the side.
Yeah.
I needed some of those zipper pants that have the crotch zipper.
Yes.
Like brilliant. So smart. I need those.
So brilliant. My cousin and I were talking about last night. She got one of those Lululemon exercise dresses and she was wearing it for the first time.
Oh, those are
I need to follow up with her and ask her if she ever ended up having to go to the bathroom in it because she had just put it on. So she's like, I haven't had to use the restroom yet. But apparently they make them so there's like somehow you can remove the shorts and go to the bathroom, like pull them down enough and like the mechanism works so you can go to the bathroom without taking it all off.
okay. Wait. Okay, that's
But I'm
good.
like, all the exercise dresses that I have, it's like a seam all the way around so you can't. But I think the Lululemon ones, they don't do the seam in the back so you can just pull at least the back half down and go to the bathroom. Which is fascinating to me.
I don't get why they don't just do that thing where it's like the crotch is like a fabric with fabric over it. Kind of like boys' underwear, you know? And then you could just like pull it open.
But then...
Kind of like pulling things to the side.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
it'd be
think
difficult.
Yeah, and
You
it would have
use
to be...
2 hands.
And it would have to be really... a lot of fabric so that when you
seam.
were just sitting down or something, it wasn't just like, vag. Because that's essentially your underwear at that point. That has a hole in
I
it.
guess I didn't think about that. Don't hire me, Lululemon, to design your
I mean, it probably
thing.
would be fine if you were just aware of it. They make spandex like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
So it's essentially just that.
Correct.
You just got to be more aware of flashing people.
Your flaps. Oh, I hate that. I'm sorry.
Also to think about too, for Mackenzie's mom, a bodysuit may have saved her from sitting on someone
Because it would've
she would have
taken
taken
so
a second
long.
to turn around, like take it off, and then it's like, oh my god.
And, like, speak up.
Yeah, I'm really confused by
Use-
that part.
Use your voice.
Like, were they on their phone or something and not paying attention, and then
I hope that was a life lesson to this person to
Me too.
stand up for yourself and use your voice, or you will
Use
get shit
that.
on,
correct,
literally and figuratively.
Yeah, she could have been shit on that day.
Ay, Dios mío.
So be careful out there, folks, and also just mentally prepare yourself if you're going to wear a bodysuit. It's going to make things difficult. And also, it was like, I really had to pee.
Yeah.
And so it
was
was
an
really doing a
emergency.
dance while I was like taking off the dress. I was like unzipping the dress I was wearing. I had this like zip up utility dress thing, and then I had to take all. Yeah, it was a lot.
That reminds me of the last time I pissed myself. When
Yeah.
I was like 7 years old,
Mm-hmm.
I was wearing overalls.
Ooh.
My mom had some girlfriends over, and I was like, I'm 7. I'm an adult. I can
I am full grown.
I can take my pants off myself. And so I held my bladder until the last possible second, and I went to the bathroom, and as I'm like, okay, I'm about to pee any second, I'm fumbling with the little brackets.
Oh.
Can't get them, and my bladder released. And I had to go, Mom, hey, Mom. While she's in the dining room, she's like, what? I was like, please come here.
Embarrassing.
Your 7-year-old just pissed herself.
Yeah. I need you to come here. I need you to come here. And then you're like, looking back in hindsight, going, it's a lot. It would have been a lot less embarrassing to ask her to help me take the overalls
I
off.
know. I should have just asked for help. That was
Hindsight's
my
20/20.
lesson. I haven't learned it yet. Ask for help,
Amen.
or you might piss yourself in your overalls.
Amen. It feels like that panic when you're in a dressing room and you're stuck in a piece of clothing alone.
That's the worst.
I think I told this about the
Yes.
Jamba Juice.
Oh
That
yeah.
Forever 21 trip. Then I had to ask the waiting
The
dressing
the
room
waiting
attendant.
room
The waiting
attendant.
room attendant. The dressing room attendant to get me out of my dress.
Do you want to know something that makes me more uncomfortable than anything?
What?
Is a bathroom attendant.
Thank you. They're just listening to people fart in there all day.
I hate it. Like, what are you supposed to do? They hand you a paper towel. I'm like, okay,
You pay
thank
them?
you so much. I could have gotten that myself. And now you have to just be in here listening to all the noxious gas coming out of people's bodies.
Seriously.
I'm sorry for you, but also I'm very uncomfortable because what do I do? How
Yes.
do I speak to you? What, like,
Yes, do I acknowledge
do
you
I
and
say,
talk to you while I'm
hello,
washing my hands?
I did a good job in there.
Yeah. Ooh, don't go in there for a minute.
Do I say, hey, plug your nose? Or do I say, don't worry about me, I only piddled? Like, what do I do?
Yes.
What who's
Just
that?
came in here to change a tampon.
Who is it for? Who's it for?
No, because it doesn't feel like a luxury to me. It feels like a nuisance.
It makes me feel guilty because I'm like, oh, there's somebody just standing on the other side listening to anything that's happening in my
Yes.
stall.
Do you think too when people are really going through it in there too, they like talk to them?
I hope so.
You think they're like, you're okay. It's
Could
okay.
you
Just let it
imagine?
out.
Just
You're doing good. You need a gas X?
the things they hear and see. I want to interview a bathroom.
A gas. A gas attendant.
I mean, they are.
They are a gas attendant.
They're a gas attendant. They're smelling a lot of gas. I want to interview one and be like, hey, what's the craziest thing you've seen?
Probably
Or
something
heard.
so weird.
It's probably well, okay, wait. Maybe another thing is they are trying to prevent people from using drugs.
Or using each other's bodies.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's like, it just seems weird.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
also,
whose idea was it? And why is that something they feel like even the richest of people can't
go to the
go to
bathroom
the
by
bathroom
themselves?
alone?
Like, grow up.
Amen.
I mean, last time I pissed myself, I was 7 years old. Grow up.
Embarrassing. Also, I feel like they have a lot more of them in Europe.
I don't.
experienced it a lot when I was in Europe.
But
especially in
typically it's
Greece.
because you're paying to use the toilet.
That's what I was gonna say.
So that
you
makes
give them
sense.
that. But I'm also like, have them stand outside of the bathroom.
when we were in Mexico last time, we were like in a, what is that, like a big market, like outdoor marketplace. What are those called? Flea market.
Yeah.
And I had to go to the bathroom. And so we went to the spot and there was a bathroom attendant, but not really a bathroom attendant because it's like the person you pay and then you go into the bathroom. That makes sense to me.
Yep.
But I always think it's really funny when you go to those and they hand you the toilet paper as well.
Yes.
Because
it's like 2 squares.
Yeah. And you're like, thankfully for you, you're correct. I only need a piddle right now. However, do I have to pay more if I need more toilet paper?
However, on you, if there's skid marks in my underwear later, that's you.
I'm mailing them to you.
Correct. And I'm not going to wash them first.
Stop it right now. I hate everything about that.
Okay, Reed. What made you need that sweet emotional support this week?
Well, you know, when you're at the end of travel and you're coming home, the way my body hates everything and everyone, I needed desperate emotional support at the airport and on the plane because, God, it's like things that wouldn't normally annoy me drive me nuts. Granted, all reasonable because I was traveling for over 24 hours. So I'm sorry, but I have a right to be a little agitated. But let me tell you, there were some characters on my flight home. There was a man, ready for this?
Uh-oh.
There was a man that was
Supposed to be in first class.
Oh, shut the fuck
something
up, sir.
happened. He didn't get to be in first class. But then he was still complaining and like trying to figure out a way to get to first class. Even though he got to have the seat where it's like, there's only 2 to the row and then there's just like the galleyway, like long area. So like his legs could go all the way out. Yeah. He had it all to himself. And then he was just like spitting facts about first class and stuff.
Oh my God.
And was very loud and like,
loser.
Well, you know, in this airport, you typically, I was like, shut up. I don't want to hear about anything.
And also,
you
how
have
does
to
that
say.
actually even happen? Something tells me he didn't actually book for it was on him.
Yeah, it was weird. I'm like, why are we? And he was like making all the flight attendants like attend to him.
It's like, yeah, I'd be pissed off at first. And then I'd be like, if I could prove it, then I'd be like, give me my money back. And then I would drop it.
Yeah. And also
not on the plane. I would get irritated at the ticket desk.
Yeah. Everybody around him was just kind of like, oh, like pleasantly like, oh, yeah, yeah.
Like, yeah, thanks for ruining our flight too.
We're like, can you just stop speaking? That would be great. And then there was like a girl in the like aisle seat next to me. She kept coughing over and over and over and over again. And also, oh God, she kept blowing her nose and looking at her boogers.
No. That's a crime against humanity.
Like, I want to dry heave right now. And so I'm like, okay, so are you going to get us all sick? Cool. But also, why are you looking at your boogers? Why can't you go to the bathroom to look at your boogers?
Seriously.
Like, if I can see you looking at your boogers, you're looking too long. Please stop. And it would be like,
I hate that.
Look at boogers. Look at boogers. I'm like,
ew.
Okay. You realize there's people around you.
Put a mask on too.
Please stop.
At that point.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm grossed out.
Ew.
Yeah. So those people annoyed me. And then I was just like annoyed by people in general. But then I get home to our home base airport and I was going to take a lift. Why was the lift like it kept saying 12 minutes, 12 minutes. I waited for 40 minutes. My lift did not arrive. But then, you know what gave me emotional support? My taxi driver. Because I said cancel to Lyft, got in a taxi, and my taxi driver was telling me about great Somalian restaurants in Portland that I should go to. And we were talking about food and about wildlife. And he was amazing. And shout out to him because he saved my day. And Lyft and Uber, you need to get your shit together at the Portland airport because why did it take so long? Why did you never show up?
That's one of the worst parts too of travel is that you're like, oh, I've landed.
But I'm not home yet.
Now I've thought about all the shit I have to do just to get to my front door.
Yes. And also, like, I feel like the Lyft / Uber situation is so difficult because you're like, in the past when I was traveling a lot, like when I traveled for work, I would land. And as soon as I landed, I would book my Uber. And, you know, I was by myself, so I could book it over there. I could like keep track of it. And I would usually time it pretty perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
Now they changed the Uber Lyft pickup area. So sometimes you go down there and it's like, oh, it'll be 2 minutes. Yep. I would have been screwed if I booked it too soon.
Yep.
And now you also have, oh, it'll be 10 minutes. 10 minutes goes by and your Lyft app still says 10 minutes and you're just waiting and waiting and waiting. You're like, okay, screw me. I'm never going home.
Yep.
I live here now.
And it feels kind of scary because you're like, I'm relying on it.
Uh-huh.
So you're like, what do I do?
I'm like, I'm going to walk home.
Yep. Get on the max.
I mean, I wish there was a stop near us.
I know. I've honestly resorted to, which sometimes it's not a cheap alternative, but just parking my car at the airport.
I do like doing that.
I mean, obviously, if you're gone for 2 weeks, do not do that. It's going to be so expensive. But if it's like a long weekend, I just do that because the reliability of just
sometimes it's worth it though, because the taxi ride home.
Yeah.
We live 15, 20 minutes from the airport.
Yep.
It was $40 to get home.
And if you did that both ways, you would have saved $20 probably if it was like a long weekend trip.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So I've just started doing that because, well, but it is a little infuriating on there because there's always a chatter. There's always a chatter on the shuttle. And they got to talk to everybody about their trip. And you're done with it. You're like, I've already had to interact with people for hours that I didn't want to talk to.
Yeah.
I didn't want to see people's faces that I didn't know. I'm over it. And I want to lay in my bed.
It's a weird feeling when you're like, I don't want to see human people right now.
And the dichotomy of when you're leaving on the trip. And you're like, you know everyone's my best friend. This is the best day of all of our lives. We're traveling.
We were the chatter in the beginning.
Yes.
And so that chatter is really just the person so excited. I know. I kind of had this like sadness. Well, a lot of sadness. I sobbed the night before we were leaving Australia. Because saying goodbye to Kiara's mom and just the trip being over and having a great time. I was so sad. And you know me, I'm a little bit, I'm just tiny bit sentimental, just a tiny bit, you know.
A nostalgic gal.
Oh God. But like thinking about, I'm like, I won't have these exact feelings and this exact experience ever again. There will never be a first time to Australia ever again because I did it.
Well, you can take me and witness me have that.
Absolutely. And we'll go to other places too.
Yes.
I want to see Melbourne. I want to see New Zealand too.
Yes.
We got to go there.
Yes.
Oh, you know what brought me a lot of emotional support?
What?
When I went to dinner the other night, I'm sitting there. I'm sitting in a really great spot over at Victoria Bar, looking out at the street. I'm watching dogs walk by. And I'm like, oh my God, those are cute dogs. Oh, that's a cute dog. And then I go, oh, I know that dog. Jojo. Kate came to dinner with Emily. And so I got to see two friends of the pod out at dinner. And it was really wonderful to get
I know that dog. I love the identifying the dog first.
Yeah, I didn't identify Kate
first. I know that fluky
tail. Identified the dog first. And I was like,
oh,
Jojo.
Honestly, that's something I'm really excited about for summer.
Is going to...
Because people are going to be out.
I love it.
And I feel like we've really expanded. Like, we know a lot of people within a few mile radius, and I feel like we all frequent similar spaces.
I love bumping into friends.
So I'm excited about that piece. Because the thing is, like, if I'm on a mission and like doing something I don't want to do, I don't want to bump into people. But if I'm out socializing, if I'm like, I'm going to dinner, I'm in a great mood, I'm into it.
See, for me, it's more of, it's dependent on who the people are I'm bumping into. Because like, if I'm doing something I don't want to do and then I bump into like an acquaintance of an acquaintance through like, I don't know, a professional affiliation where it's like I have to put on my professional mask.
Yep.
No thanks. But if it's like a friend, I'm like, oh, thank God. I got some emotional support now out here in the wild.
Fair.
Thank goodness. This also makes me think of like something that I sent Tori the other day where I was driving and I saw a man walking around with this sheepdog.
Oh, yes.
And the sheepdog had a blowout. Like the sheepdog was looking fine.
I think it's a show dog.
It had to have been. But guess what? I didn't tell you this. Well, first, my thought was this man walking his sheepdog that has a blowout is begging for people to acknowledge the sheepdog, right? Like you have to,
Yes.
right? Like that's why you have it, right?
Yeah. If he's putting that much time in for no acknowledgement, loser.
Yeah, like you're asking for it.
Yes.
And you know what? I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
But guess what? I saw him the next day as well. But
Whoa.
first day I saw him, Northeast Portland. Second day I saw him, Northwest Portland. He's going around town with the
What
sheepdog,
the hell?
walking around the
But
busiest
also, there's
streets.
dogs like that in our parents' neighborhood.
Ugh.
So I'm like, does this man live over there?
that'd be
and
funny.
then he's just every day he finds a new neighborhood to wander in.
Which I want to do that. I want to take the dogs to
Yes.
other neighborhoods and take them for walks.
I love doing that.
Let's do it. Let's do it after this.
I did it a lot in COVID. I would drive to other neighborhoods and walk around because I was like, I
Yes.
need to look at something different where I'm going to be able to have social distancing.
Agreed. John and I
It was
went
a
for
good
a
time.
run the other day and we ran through where we used to live during COVID times and I got this weird panging sadness in my body and I was like, why is that happening? Oh, these are the streets I used to walk every day when I was in sadness.
Road.
Well, y'all have made it this far. It's time for us to get into it. We are going to recap season 2, episode 1 of The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. And hopefully you've tuned into the first episode at least already, or the first season, because we're going to get into it.
You're going to want reference points.
You're going to want reference points.
But also the way that I thought you were going to say, we're getting into the secret life of pets. I was like, great movie.
That is a great film.
It is.
Wow.
Chapnatch.
Okay, so season 2,
Mm-hmm.
we kick off.
Also, I don't know about you. Zero clue it was coming. I felt like there was no like date given for release.
And then it was
all
like,
of a sudden it was like,
boom.
and tomorrow, here it is.
I know, I was actually really happy about that though,
Me
because I don't
too.
like when it's dragged out. It's like, if you're going to tell me a show is about to premiere, like let it
Yes.
just be immediate.
I agree. Instant gratification.
So we kick off with the girls
Mm-hmm.
and a lot unfolds within the very first episode.
Yes, we find out about some previous scandals.
Yes.
With another girl that I wasn't aware was
Miranda.
part of Mom Talk. Yep. They're also at something called Cowboy Pillows.
Yeah, what was that about?
And I'm like, is that an innuendo?
Oh, what? For what?
I don't know. It felt like maybe
like a humping
boobs
pillow?
and then,
Oh.
no, like boobs and then the cowboys like their pillows.
Oh, I don't
know.
I can't remember. It was some influencer event, but yeah, we meet a new character, Miranda, which something that I love about this show is how they break the fourth wall and all the girls in their
Absolutely.
interviews are like, she wants money. That's the only reason she's
Yes.
here is she saw how successful season 1 was and
Yes.
now she's trying to get in on it.
Yep.
And respect. Yeah, there's a lot of money to earn here because the Mormon wives are popping off. You know who also wants that
Yep.
money? Zach.
1,010%. The only reason that horrible man is coming back is because she was able to buy, because she bought that new house for herself. It was her house.
She bought it. She's not renting.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's her house.
Whoa.
Yeah. I think she said something about that.
Yeah, like that she
Like, because he brought his
Oh.
suitcase because she was like, this is mine. All of this is mine.
she also said that like what he'd be earning a year is what she makes on a single brand deal. Which
Yes.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Woof.
Somebody explain that to me. Like first season of like pilot seasons of reality TV, you don't make a lot.
Mm-mm.
But I feel like there's something nefarious. No, I have a conspiracy theory though.
Uh-oh.
I feel like this show, there is some under the table money funneling over to the Mom Talk girls from the church.
1,000%.
Where it's like
the
they-
Mormon church owns so much of America.
I feel like they're trying to be like, hey, Mormonism is
Mhm.
actually chill. You can be a girl
a saint
boss.
or a sinner, we don't care.
You can be a saint or a sinner, and you can be a girl boss. And look at the different ways that you can be a Mormon.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, you know, there's the negative perspective of people being like, this isn't the Mormon church, like blah blah
Mhm.
blah blah. And there's people like this is, and so it doesn't look like it could be
Yep.
connected at all. But like, why do I feel like this is benefiting
Mm-hmm.
the Mormon church?
It feels like in the Christian church, like when a new
Is
youth
like,
leader
I'm
comes
cool.
on, and then they're like using social media and stuff, and they're like using pop culture references to be like engage.
Yeah,
with
they like
me.
all of a sudden are like a white boy rapper that's like, I'm so
1,000%.
cool and hip.
It basically
Let's
feels
talk.
like whatever pastor got a hold of Justin Bieber.
Yes.
That's is what this feels like.
Yes. Like, I just feel like something is going on
Yes.
where they're making even more money because there's some under the table stuff happening. I don't know.
Yes.
You didn't hear it from me.
They
Maybe you did.
also, all of them had some level of glow up between season 1 and season 2.
They're looking good. Okay. Something we need to talk about.
The mom.
Oh, the mom's face. I feel like it turned out good, right?
I know, but she annoys the living crap out of
I know
me.
her saying you just need to make it work. I'm sorry. Okay, let's back up
Terrifying.
really quick. So Jen and Zach, we see them. They we see that Jen, she has been on her own. They've been pretty much separated. He had gotten accepted into medical school in Arizona. They were living in Arizona, and she left, came back to Utah, bought
Well,
or is
before
renting her
that
own
end of the
place.
season, they were in New York.
Yeah, but then he
But
ended
then he
up
transferred med
taking a different
schools.
med school.
Yeah.
And so we find out so many crazy things because we find out not only is she living on her own, he's coming to reconcile, but when he comes to reconcile, we find out that he's taken a year off of med
Yes.
school and has stopped going to church.
Yes.
So, okay. Woo! I had so many problems with him last season.
Same.
So many. I still have problems with him.
Yep.
I am interested in seeing
Yes.
how this plays out.
Yes.
Because what if, hear me out,
Mhm.
he starts unpacking some baggage and realizes the damage that has been done.
I mean, we can only hope.
We can only hope. We'd love to see a man, reconciling
'Cause I
what
do
the
feel like
patriarchy has
he-
done to him as
yeah,
well.
I feel like he was acknowledging, not to give a white man too much credit, but I feel like he was acknowledging the things that he probably was buying into that contributed to that, but not making an excuse like
Yeah.
this was done to me, but like I fully was I was gullible enough to believe it. I need to break apart some of that. Fascinating was the ketamine therapy that they did. These women
They're
are
into
so
it.
funny because they're like
I don't drink.
they're so adamant about some of these things, but then they find loopholes,
It's
much like the butthole loophole.
yeah.
They found another way to do drugs. They found another way to get a little high, which is the laughing gas when they get their Botox done.
Why do I want to try this ketamine therapy? Like I want to know what's happening to them.
Well,
what's
then I
going
was
on?
fascinated because I was like, I thought someone was going to come into the room and they were going to do therapy.
That's what I thought too.
But I think it's it's almost supposed to be like an independent processing. Like I think it's kind of like an ayahuasca thing where like you get this level of high and then it opens your brain. So you're just kind of, but I'm like, I don't want to just be in my head with that.
I know, and
I need to get that out.
they always just put the little eye mask on, put
I
the
know.
headphones on, and then you take a little nap.
I mean, they definitely were pretty emotional after too.
And he goes, "How long were we out?"
I know, that was pretty funny.
All right, so we have them.
Yep.
I'm really excited to see, how that plays out in terms of, are we going to continue to see him grow?
Yep.
I wonder too if he's talking to his family right now because
I had that thought as
I
well.
remember they were pretty against Jen too in the last season.
I think they're part of his problem.
Oh.
And I think he's finally realizing they are probably the they're the problem, not her.
Right.
Yeah.
Then we find out that Dakota was in fact lying to Taylor the whole time. Big shocker, not.
Correct.
That man, I cannot stand him.
Disgusting. Also, he just got hair plugs. I did see that on TikTok.
He's showing them off.
Yeah, he was dancing around the office and
Well,
stuff, getting them.
Good for him.
But
Do
I was
what
like,
you need
that's
to
not
do.
your money.
Well,
That's
he's,
Taylor money.
but he's probably making money because he's an influencer now.
Exactly.
Yeah,
because
but
of her.
yeah. Also, though, he is a 14-year-old boy in a 35-year-old man's body.
Yup.
He gives me the biggest cringe ick ever. I cannot
he's a walking
stand
ick.
him.
Also, what we were saying earlier too with the mom who's literally just got a brand new face and all new hair, which thank God, because the hair last season was really bad. But her saying to stay with him and work it out when she was so mad about him last season, I was like, this all is problematic. Everything about this is a problem
Yes.
because you literally 6 months ago we're basically trying to convince her to do all this without him because you hated him
Yes.
so much. And then now all of a sudden she's proven exactly what you were saying about him. And now it's, I can't believe you need to work it out for your kid.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I firmly believe this. I think if your relationship in front of your kid is showing a very inaccurate picture of love, it is much more beneficial to that child to see you separate and find peace than to do that in front of them for them. I'm sorry.
I 1000% agree. And also it's like, so you just heard her recount all this trauma that he has put her through, how he is a completely untrustworthy person, and you want her to figure it out and make it work with him. She doesn't need to make it work with him.
Yep.
He needs to make it work with her, and that shouldn't happen. I do not think they should be together. I think this man should go away. I mean, not far away though, because
No, I
the
want
other
that
thing-
kid to have
the
his
kid
dad,
should have
but
the dad.
I don't think she should have to deal with him in
No.
that relationship capacity.
But it makes me sad for her. She's learning a lot, but yeah, get away from this man. He's
Ugh.
and good on that girl that showed the text
Also,
messages.
Can we talk about how uncomfortable it
Oh.
would be to be her in that situation? Because the way that Taylor's just getting more and more amped up and just sobbing, and that girl's just sitting there like,
Yeah.
do I leave? Like,
And she's like, I'm on TV.
and also she's like, I didn't make this like this also happened to me. Like, I would probably be like,
Yeah.
well, I'm gonna go ahead and leave. I'm so sorry.
Well, I
Bye.
also feel like if I was her, I would have been shit talking him a bit more of like, wow, he said
1000%.
that. Like, oh my God.
Nothing would surprise me if later in the season we end up seeing them together.
Dakota and that girl.
Mhm.
Ew. No, because she kind of like, quote unquote, did him dirty. I really hope
Yeah.
not. I hope that woman's better than that.
I mean, I would live for the drama. I'd be sad for it, the reality, but also
I would hate that.
I'd be like, we all knew it was good. We all knew he was a loser.
So
So,
we both are only through episode 1.
mhm,
But I keep seeing stuff and I'm curious when this is going to happen.
mhm.
Like there's a fallout between the girls,
Yep.
Demi
Yep.
and the rest of the girls, and she becomes close with Whitney, where I'm like,
I know
no.
the villains.
So I'm very interested to see how this
because Demi was one of
plays
my
out.
favorites last season because I feel like she was one of the only people speaking truth. So now I'm like, here we go.
Yeah, so Tori, this is, kind of similar to what happens on Real Housewives.
Mhm.
We call this a season 1 favorite demise. So typically what
Classic.
happens is it's the first time, or typically what happens, it's the first season, the fan favorite,
Mhm.
the fame goes to their head, and then they start kind of playing producer a
Get
little
too
bit.
confident.
In season 2, they get too confident, and
everyone
everybody
the wrong
hates them. It rubs them the wrong way. It's the Heather Gay effect. On Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Heather Gay was the season 1 fan favorite. Season 2, everybody hated her. She can have a redemption arc,
Mhm.
but I don't understand. I'm so curious to see how this plays out because
She's the one that is it her husband who was married to one of the Real Housewives?
a friend of a Real Housewife,
okay.
Angie, yeah, she's barely on the show, but
Mhm.
yes. So, I mean, Utah, small town,
She learned from the best.
small state. Salt Lake City, small town.
I know. Do they live in Salt Lake?
They all live like
In the suburbs?
in the
around
metro area of Salt
Okay.
Lake City.
It? Looks beautiful. Never been. Only been to the airport. But you know what? I kind of want to go now.
I've been.
I also want to go to one of the soda stores.
Okay, can I tell you?
Yeah.
I think maybe I told you this last week or the week before that, but the way that Vacation Read drinks Coca-Cola.
So we need to go to Salt Lake.
I never drink like fountain soda. The only soda I drink is my Olipop root beer. Shout out to Olipop root beer. You are the real MVP. While I was on vacation, I was guzzling Coca-Cola.
Yeah, you were.
God.
Coke addict.
And I miss it. And when I saw
That sounds so good right now.
Crisp,
Crisp.
I saw a video of
McDonald's
all
one.
the girls drinking or telling their drink orders. And I'm like, I kind of want to try that. Except for, I'm sorry.
They put too much.
I don't need more shit. I just need a crisp Coca-Cola. Fountain Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
Don't give me one in a
Coca-Cola,
can.
and I will do. It does sound good to do a fountain Coca-Cola with. I could do like a creamer.
No.
I like it. It's nice.
I mean, I guess it's kind of like a
or just a
root beer
little
float.
syrup, like a little flavor. You can add a little bit of flavor, but I don't want too much.
I am a classic kind of girl. I just want a Coca-Cola.
But sometimes if you do the right combo, it kind of tastes like a milkshake.
I'm okay. I don't want a milkshake. I just want a Coca-Cola.
You got both.
I want 12 Coca-Cola. I don't want a milkshake. I just want Coca-Cola.
I could double fist it.
I actually, milkshakes, I always get excited about a milkshake, and I'm always disappointed by a milkshake.
That's me with ice cream, too. Just in general. I take 2 bites, and then I'm like, over it.
All I want is a cookie.
Sorry.
Wow.
Always.
Any final thoughts on season 2, episode 1 of The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives?
I think it's going to take me a while to get back into it a little bit because I was really into it season 1 and I think it's just because I've distanced myself enough from the first season now that I'm like, they're pissing me off more than they ever did last season. Like I felt a different level of rage, but it's intriguing enough to keep going.
Yeah. I'm interested to see if it's going to hold me like it held me last time. Also, never mind.
I think I also have a really hard time I know you can watch reality shows alone. I have a hard time enjoying them because I almost get too analytical, but if it's just like fun and social, then I can dig it. But when I am alone,
that's why
watching
I like
them, I get enraged.
I love to get analytical with it all. It's so fun. I think the difference though with this one is there's something for me where I love to watch women who are older than me and who are very wealthy on reality TV shows because I think that dynamic is just very fascinating and
money can't buy you class.
Comical. As the Countess would say, money can't buy you class. Elegance is earned.
Yep. And then it also just makes me realize too how much, because I'll start going down like armchair experting them a little bit. I'm like, oh, this person is a narcissist. They
all are.
And then I'm like, yeah, this is why, like, they don't have a specific type of person because a person who's not going to be playing it up that way, it'd be boring as hell to watch that.
Yeah, because think about this. Like, if you and I were on a reality TV show like that, we would like, okay, we go bowling. Then they'd be like, Tori, in your one-on-one interview, wasn't that so obnoxious what Reed did? And you have to answer it. And like they like poke you and pester you and like all that kind of stuff. And it's like
you end up with no friends at the end.
Yeah, you have no friends because why would you want to be friends with somebody like, the whole saying, what other people think about me is none of my business. Yes.
Yeah,
I don't need to know that. It's okay if your friends like have thoughts or feelings like that go against yours or stuff like that.
Yep.
And sometimes those things can be private.
Yes.
Like, it doesn't mean you have beef with somebody to disagree.
Yes.
Like, you know what I mean?
And it doesn't need to result in being mean.
No.
They take like a minor irritation because we're human and then they make it into bashing someone.
Yeah. And they say really mean, like, where it's like, oh, of course so-and-so did X, Y, and Z. And it's like, that's your friend.
And it's clearly not.
Yeah, no. They're all
because I'm like,
frenemies.
no actual friends are ever going to talk about each other like that. My thought on this versus Real Housewives is just that I do believe these people actually were friends.
Yeah.
/are. Real Housewives, it's too obvious to me a lot of the times that these people had nothing to do with each other before the fact, like the majority of them, and then watch them interact is really awkward.
Yeah, when they like bring in a new housewife and she wasn't part of like an OG cast, it is difficult where you're like, okay, so they're just like sussing this woman out to see if she can be in the group.
Yes.
I agree. Well, stay tuned. Between now and the next episode of our podcast, we're going to watch episode 2 and 3.
Yep.
And we'll recap those on the next episode. We want to hear your guys' thoughts. Who is your favorite right now? Who's your favorite, Tori, right now? I feel like we haven't gotten a lot. I know Macy. Even in last season, I feel like Macy is the best at, I wouldn't say like playing both sides at all. I feel like she's a very pragmatic person and she's very honest and straightforward with everyone.
Yep. And she's not afraid to face conflict. Like her sitting there with Taylor and like helping her through that. Great.
And she
didn't make it about herself. It just was, we're going to get to the bottom of it.
She doesn't make it about herself and she doesn't ever victimize herself or victimize people around her. She's just very straightforward. I like Macy a lot. I think she's my favorite.
I agree.
Last season, Demi was my favorite.
Yep.
I really loved her. So it's going to be interesting. I'm kind of sad about that, but
I know.
Hey, we'll see.
But yeah, I'm I'm excited to see where it goes. I'm excited to see what the scandal is this season. I think all the episodes are out, so don't spoil for us.
Yeah, do not
if you've
spoil
already
it.
watched it. Just listen along and laugh if you already know the outcome, because you're like, hee hee, you don't
Like,
even
you
know
guys
what's
don't
coming
even know
for
what's
ya.
coming. Oh my gosh. Anything else you want to add before we wrap up this episode?
I don't think so. I'm just glad we're back together.
Me too. I have so much emotional support.
I know, we're back together. The dogs were perfect angels the whole episode. As you can see, we played musical chairs.
The
love
dogs did a great job on their debut episode.
They did.
Oh, well,
All right.
we hope you enjoyed this episode. Please like, subscribe,
Review.
review, share this with your friends.
Please.
Spread that emotional support, baby.
That's right. Basically, just act like you sharing it with 5 friends so you don't get called Stacy is also like giving them an emotional support vest.
Uh-huh. There you
I'm
go.
gonna put my oxygen mask on first.
Yes.
You've been doing that by listening so far, and then you're gonna reach to your neighbor and say, "Here you go. I'm giving you a gift."
We are your oxygen. Hello.
Bingo, bango, bongo.
Let us help you breathe.
That's right.
Have a great week. We'll see you
Love
next week.
ya. Bye.
Weenies.